In this video, you can work along with me. We're going to look at how to do a cone cutout on Desmos. The thing to realize is that when you open up a cone to try to get sort of that 2D version of it, it opens up into sort of a partial arc of a circle. So what we need to do is we need to figure out everything about this arc so we can build it. We need to figure out the radius and the angle of that arc. So we can find the radius over here by just looking at the slant height of our cone. That's the radius here. The angle, we have to do a little bit of math, and that's right here. This is the equation. So let's look at an actual example where we do it. So I'll put some numbers in here. 6 will be the slant length. 2 is the original radius. And to find the angle, I'm going to use this equation. And when I do that, I figure out that my angle is going to be 120 degrees. Now let's take that information and actually make the cutout on Desmos. To do that, we'll be using 3 skills. We need to make a line, rotate it twice, and then make an arc connecting those radii. Let's get started. So the first thing I need to do is make a line that is the height of my radii. So I am just going to make a line. I'm going to label it so I can make sure I have the right length. And now go ahead and adjust that length. So you can pause the video and make your own radii of 6. This is looking pretty long, so I'm going to actually just shrink the size down so I can see it better. Maybe not quite so much. Okay. And now I need to make that rotation of this 120 degrees. So I'm going to highlight this as usual, transform, rotate it. I'm going to choose that center. We'll take that sort of the center of the circle, type in 120 and go ahead and pause the video and get that done. Now to use the arc tool, I actually need 3 points so it can identify the correct radius for that partial circle. So I need to make one more point. So I'm going to highlight that again, and I'm going to transform it again. And this one, it doesn't actually matter where I rotate it exactly. I just want it somewhere in between. So I'm just going to go the halfway. So if you can just think of like halfway, for me, that would be 60. I now have 3 points. Now this one is not important. I always like to remind myself that this is really not part of it. So I always just highlight it and give it a different color so I can remind myself. Okay, so this is what matters. So go ahead and if you haven't, pause the video and do this. If you're ready, what we're going to do next is going to go make that arc. So I'm going to click on the arc tool. I'm going to make 3 points at each of the ends of each of these radius. 1, 2, and 3. I now have my arc. As I said, this one is not important to me, so I might go ahead just right away and just hide that. So I am now ready to cut out that part of my cone. You may not need it, but if the base of that cone is showing, and so you need to cover that with that circle, let's also make a circle. This time the radius is 2 for that little circle. So knowing the radius is 2, I'm going to draw a line that is 2. I'll just need to label that first and then adjust it to 2. Once I've got that radius of 2, I go over to the circle. I'm going to click right at one side of it. I'm going to actually hold my mouse down and I'm going to expand that circle until it hits the end of the radius, and now I have a circle with a radius of 2 ready to cut out. Hope this video was helpful. You just need to remember these 3 steps and you're all set.